What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, looking at a couple of new cards from the Dark Illusion, and we have ourselves another new Tramid monster. If you guys don't know what the Tramids are, they're a new archetype coming out in the Dark Illusion. They're Earth, Rock, they revolve around multiple field effects. They're kind of like taking Yu-Gi-Oh! Back to Egypt like it was way back in the original series, and sets like Pharaonic Guardian with the Gravekeepers and Ring of Destruction and all that good stuff. Here's what the card looks like. Very nice artwork. You can see it's kind of like a tomb right there, so looking kind of cool. Let me go back to the card right quick so we can read the effect. All the Tramids so far are Earth, Rock. They revolve around field effects and like having field spells in the graveyard. They have multiple field spells, as you guys told me, only Ghost Tricks and Heroes. I can understand me forgetting about Ghost Tricks because I've never played Ghost Tricks for the most part, but I should have known about Heroes because they've got Skyscraper, and then they have Hero City, so I should have known about that. Anyways, so it's a level 3 Earth Rock monster because, again, they're all Earth, they're all Rock. 1400 attack, 1100 defense. Effect number 1, during your main phase, if there is a face-up field spell card on the field, you can normal summon one rock type monster in addition to your normal summon / set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. So interesting enough, if I'm understanding this card correctly, you don't actually have to have a field spell on your side of the field. Let's just say hypothetically you're playing against Madoche and they happen to have Madoche Chateau on the field. That's a field spell and it's on the field face up, so why wouldn't you be able to use this effect? I don't see any reason. It doesn't say if you control a field spell. It doesn't say a field spell on your side of the field. It just says if there's a face up field spell. So anytime that you can get double summon out of a monster effect, that's generally good. If you look at decks like Evil Swarm or Constellars, like it's been kind of an important piece to their decks. Like those are the cards in Pollux and like caster that they run pretty much at 3 forever. So I'm going to say that this dude is going to be a 3 of. Effect number 2. Once per turn, during your opponent's turn, you can target one Tramid field spell card you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, you can activate one Tramid field spell from your deck with a different name from that field spell. This is a quick effect. Now, here's the thing. I don't think that I've heard, maybe it's just me. I don't think that there has been another effect like this in the game that lets you play a field spell from your deck during your opponent's turn. That is pretty damn strong, especially considering when you have other monsters or when you have other things that trigger. Obviously, this is going to beef up your Sphinx because you're going to get a field spell in the graveyard, so he'll obviously get boosted by, I believe it's 500, right? Yeah, he will. But that's a really cool effect. Also, what I didn't mention, effect number 1, getting that double summon, that works extremely well with Cruiser. The first and second effect. Actually, the fact that these effects are not once per turn is pretty amazing. Like, look at this. Okay, so Tramid Cruiser. Effect number 1, each time a rock type monster is normal summoned, gain 500 life points. So, okay, if you summon Hunter, okay, you're gaining 500. Then you summon Master, you gain another 500. So it's like you just gained 1,000 life points in one turn because it's not, this doesn't say once per turn. And then at the same time, you can also proc effect number 2, which if a Tramid monster is normal summoned, you can draw one card, then discard one card. It's like a little mini Graceful Charity. So imagine if you summon or you normal summon twice in one turn, you gain 1,000 life points, and then you essentially get to draw 2 cards and discard 2. Like, that's basically just funneling through your deck and getting the important cards. Not to mention, that is a quick way to get field spells in the graveyard to power up your Sphinx. So I look at Hunter as, it's like, I don't know how many more cards they're going to get, but I'm going to say he's like a bona fide 3 of, because his interaction with Cruiser is buku powerful. And then you can gain your life points, you can draw your cards, discard them, and then you can just send Cruiser to the graveyard and then get a copy of King Golem during your opponent's turn. So that seems pretty strong. I'm going to have to say that this card is probably going to be a staple at like 3 of for the foreseeable future. And then the next card we're going to talk about is Premature Return. Now, when I saw this card, I get so hyped. I was like, I looked at the card art and I was like, okay, Return for the Different Dimension is clearly what came to my mind. And I looked at these cards and I tried to figure out what are these. I was like, okay, I think that's Esper Girl, and I'm pretty sure that that's Warrior Die. If you know about the lore with Warrior Die, like he goes through all types of crazy shit. And then I think That's not is that DD Crazy Beast? I think that might be DD Crazy Beast. These two I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that's Warrior Die, that's Esper Girl, and that's DD Crazy Beast. And I was hoping what Premature Return was. I was hoping that it would be Return from a different dimension, except that it would just have like, I was maybe hoping for like a discard cost, and maybe it summons all the monsters in defense mode, and they can't attack, but they don't die in the end phase. What we got is just, it's so much worse. I was like, Konami, can you stop trolling? This card is, it's not that strong. Let me go ahead and show you guys the effect. So, it's a normal trap, obviously. It says banish one card from your hand, then target one of your banished monsters, special summon that monster in face down defense position. Oh man, I just was like, Dan's game, what is this card? I'm trying to think of how you can like break this card, but I'm really not seeing it, because I look at something like DDR and I'm just like, okay, DDR is like way faster. I know it's an equip so it can get like MST'd or something like that, or you can like Twin Twister it, but you don't have to banish the card in your hand. And the monster that you get with DDR is, it's pretty much online immediately, because you can just use the effect, you can attack with it. The monster that you get from Premature Return, you're not probably going to be able to attack with it that turn unless you have something like Book of Taiyu. Not to mention you have to banish the card in your hand and you have to set it, so it's a trap and it's kind of slow too. Like, I would probably even run like, well, I was gonna say Escape from a Different Dimension, but I think that's only Dark Monsters, so I guess that's not the most fair comparison. But I don't know, Konami, I really love the artwork on this card. I just really wish that it just would have been a weaker version of Return. You know, maybe I was actually thinking, like, if they brought the Dragon Rulers back, then banishing a card from hand wouldn't be that big of a deal, because you could, you know, trigger the Dragon Rulers, but what are the odds of that? And I'm trying to think of a group of monsters that banish themselves that I would want to get back but face down. Like, the only thing you really want to get in Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever face down are like Prediction Princesses or like Shadow's flip effects, but it doesn't really happen that much that those cards get banished. Generally they go to the graveyard, but those archetypes are not revolving around banishing. Maybe even Gravekeepers, but again, that's not an archetype that really banishes unless you use like a Lord of Darkness. So I really don't think that there's much of a chance that this card will see a ton of competitive play, but the artwork is still, I think the artwork is fantastic. I love Esper Girl, how happy she looks. I like Warrior Dies. I like his expression on his face. Konami, you had a golden opportunity to just make this card a weaker Return and make it like busted, and you dropped the ball, man. Seriously, this card should have been discard one card from your hand, special summon as many banished monsters as possible in defense position, and I don't know, maybe even if you destroyed them during the end phase, I think I'd be fine with that. Destroy them during the end phase, not banish them though. That would have been a little too like stupid with no life point cost, because the discard cost is enough. So let me know what you guys think of these two cards. Thank you for watching as always.